folks, it's Finn. Happy Sunday. So today is Q&A shout-out day. And today's question is a really good one. It's one I get asked a lot, actually, in very different ways. And this question comes from Jaden on Tumblr. And Jaden asks, do I feel proud to be transgender? And how did I develop that pride? Was there a time where I felt ashamed and other things that have happened over time that have helped me to feel more proud? And this is something that's come up a lot when people have asked this of me over time. I am very, very proud to be transgender. Of course, that's been a work in progress. I didn't want to be transgender because I'd already gone through enough difficulty in my life, the most difficult one, getting clean and sober, and I'd reached a point in my life where, you know, things were on a really good even keel. I was managing life on life's terms for the first time in my life. I was in a healthy relationship, and for me, discovering I was trans was very bittersweet. It was the answer to what was been wrong all my life. It answered so many unanswered questions. But on the other hand, Pandora's box was open, and I was so scared that I was going to lose everything, that, you know, people would just lose respect for me in being trans. You know, I heard all the rhetoric in the media and just thought, I just don't want to go back to being shouted at on the streets, to losing friends, family, and what have you. And with that came a real feeling of shame in admitting that I was trans, of telling people I was trans, and telling people to use new pronouns for me and a new name, and that was all really, really awkward. I already had some shame around my body anyway, because I'd always wanted my chest gone, and I always felt deeply ashamed and guilty for that, because I didn't realise why, of course, I wanted my chest gone. I didn't really understand that, so there was lots of shame involved there. And over time I have become very, very proud of my transgender identity, and I guess for me that's come from a pride in myself, because it's not so much being proud to be transgender, although I am, it's proud of the ability of myself to go, look, this is who I am, and if you don't like it, then that's really your issue, not mine. And developing that pride in myself, that I'm okay, there's nothing wrong with me, this is just something that's happened. It happens to far more people than we actually know, and it's okay. It's not something I went out and chose, it's not something, you know, that I just did on a whim one day. This has been a deep issue all my life that I've not been able to face. And I've dealt with it in very, very poor ways, drinking, self-harming, all of that. And so to acknowledge myself as transgender and then to take those steps into saying it out loud to people, to risk people shunning me, to risk losing friends, family, loved ones, what have you. You know, the self-awareness and self-respect I have for myself, that's what I'm proud of, that despite the bad rep that being transgender often gets, that I know that that's not about me, that's about other people's poor belief system, you know. So that's what I'm proud of, my ability to overcome all of that and just be me regardless. I'm very, very proud of that. And I guess what I'm really proud of as well is our community. We are very, very good at coming together. Like any other minority community, we all do have a bit of in-hate going on here, there and everywhere. But on the whole, I think we really band together as a community for the greater good, to really look after each other. We're really, really good at kind of being further on in the journey and reaching a hand down and helping other people up, and vice versa, you know. And I'm very, very proud for that as well. So I think my advice wouldn't be to kind of try and jump ahead to be a real proud trans man. You don't have to be out there to be a real proud trans man, trans woman, trans person. It's about recognising your own strengths and having pride in yourself to follow your heart, to go against the grain, and to still have self-love for yourself. That is something worth being very, very proud about. And then I think that just naturally evolves then into a kind of greater pride. But it doesn't mean having to, like I say, doesn't mean have to shout from the rooftops about it. I mean, as time's gone on, I shout less. I'm very, very active in the community and online and what have you. But the more I've gone forward, the more I've kind of not shouted it so much. I think in the early days I needed to say it to be like, look, this is who I am and it's okay. And also because if I didn't tell people I was trans, they often called me she, you know. But, you know, there are days where I really want to kind of shout it, and other days where I just want to be quiet. You know, I'm sometimes in a group of people who have no idea, and I say nothing, and I quite like that. And it's that now, I guess. It's like being on a roller coaster. There are some times when you ride the roller coaster and you scream your head off and you flail your arms around. And there's other times where you're on the roller coaster and you just want to sit back, smile and enjoy the ride. And that's what it's all about, reaching that place of inner pride. It's not about what you do outward, it's that inner pride of self. And for me that is of my own strengths. But yes, I am proud of my transgender identity and the community I belong to as well, if that makes sense. The topic of pride has come up a lot lately, which is why I decided to address this today, because we've obviously got Pride season coming up, so there's a lot of prides going on everywhere. I've also just written a piece for Oxford Pride about being proud in Oxford, and I'm also doing something with my normal next weekend around the same kind of topic. So I thought it would be quite good to actually give my hometown a shout out on this Sunday shout out, Oxford Pride, who I am incredibly proud of in my city, because they really make an effort to make the T visible, and that's quite a rare thing, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Rob Jordan, the chair of Oxford Pride, is a really great man and really keen to learn about trans issues, and we've had some work together, and that's been really, really good. And I love how they want to really take Pride forward. So their shout out definitely goes to them this weekend. And also the shout out goes to Trans Oxford, which is a new group that I'm a little bit involved in as well, setting up in Oxford a monthly trans meetup group, because we have one in Swindon and we have one in Reading, but nothing in Oxford. There is kind of transient uni groups that kind of come and go, but we need a meat and bones one that's in the city, embedded in the city, and stays regardless of like students moving in and out. As I say, I'm not as involved as I'd like to be. I want to get involved with so much, but I never have the time to get as involved with everything as I'd like. But yeah, that's quite exciting, and they're organising an actual Trans Pride Oxford as well, which will be the day before Oxford Pride. So Oxford Pride's the 4th of June, so it'll be the 3rd of June. I'll put a link to both Oxford Pride and Trans Oxford in the group below. So yeah, a big shout out to my hometown really for taking the LGBT forward in making sure that the T is really, really included in that, and in recognising the needs of trans people in the Oxford area that need a close meetup, and also working in conjunction with other communities, working with Swindon and working with Reading, because that's what it's all about. It's not, you know, strength is in numbers. It's not about, oh, this is our group, we're developing this. It's about what can we do everywhere. If we pool our resources, what can we do? So yeah, big shout out to my hometown for taking the T forward. Thanks for watching everybody. As usual, please do send me your questions. You can drop me in the comment section below or in any of the social media links. Do subscribe to be kept up to date with regular updates. Come and join the Finn fam for extra behind the scenes stuff. And take care of yourselves. See you next week.